Guangdong Tzu Chi volunteers distribute aid supplies to flood-affected residents in Lianping County. Volunteer translators help out at Tzu Chi Free Clinic in Jordan, allowing the events to run smoothly. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. Guangdong province in China suffered from serious floods due to downpours in early June, causing many places to be severely impacted. After volunteers assessed the damages, they held a distribution to alleviate plight of the affected residents. Tzu Chi volunteers went to Xiadong village to evaluate the plight at the end of June. The marks on the walls are how high the floods were. They are also the nightmares the villagers cannot erase.
Your suffering is temporary, but your suffering is also our suffering. We will remember it, and we will find a way to help you solve it.
Xiadong village was the worst-hit village in the floods in June. Close to 300 families in the village need help. Tzu Chi volunteers have prepared goods to alleviate the villagers' suffering.
我家里就全部是房子倒塌了，没有房住了。是的，没有。
生活过得去不？
过不去啊，工作是很辛苦的。
这些物资对你有什么帮助吗？
帮助很大。
Some villagers are affected by the floods, but they still help out at the distribution.
Everyone is in a difficult situation, but with you coming all the way to our village, we should come together to lend a hand.
The children of these elderly people work out of town, and I'm all by myself, so I do my best to help. If they can't move their goods, they will call me. Or when I see some people in need of help, I do my best to help them.
The volunteers' company sparks a chain effect. The villagers use different ways to pass on love.
A family with more than 10 people told me that they wanted to donate the goods they receive. Because they are not suffering, some people donate money to me and said they wanted to help too. I'm very touched by their love and how it inspired them.
A Thai woman in her 60s shoulders the responsibility to care for 7 people in her family, including her bedridden sister, her paralyzed son, and the children left behind by her older brother. Knowing that they live in a difficult life with an old, damaged house, Tzu Chi came to help them repair their home and also give them spiritual support.
คือเป็นแรงผลักดันที่ต้องสู้ไงทั้งที่ตัวเราเองเนี่ยไม่ต้องดูแลพวกเขาก็ได้ใช่ไหมแต่เราก็ทิ้งไม่ได้อะ
60-year-old Ran Hui has to support her family of 7 people, but the burden is tough on her. Her son has been paralyzed for 17 years, and it is a sweet burden. Their 40-year-old house is badly damaged because of the termites and cannot be repaired.
ด้านนี้ฝนตกแรงมาก
When it rains, we can't sleep over there. As you see, the clothes we put there must be removed at once, and I have to wipe the area that leaks.
Tzu Chi volunteers came back and forth for a year to find out any possibility of repairing this house. After the repairmen learned about the volunteers' loving intention, they offer their plan and are willing to repair parts of the house for free.
The volunteers are very helpful. If I can pay back, I will grab the chance to do it, even though my ability is limited.
Ran Hui goes to the Jinsi Hall regularly to work, cleaning up the place. She created her life's value as her life is now sweet after she has left the hardship behind.
Since everyone in Indonesia needs to master Indonesian, English, and Chinese in the workplace, many trilingual schools have been built one after another over the past few years. In recent years, the Taiwan Overseas Community Affairs Council has organized training courses to help improve the teaching skills of Chinese teachers in the country.
The 2019 OCAC training program for Mandarin teachers was officially launched in Jakarta. This is a regular teacher seminar co-organized by the Taiwan Overseas Community Affairs Council and the Union of Alumni Taiwan Indonesia. More than 200 Chinese teachers from all over the world met with each other and exchanged their ideas during the 5-day training. They have gained lots of experience in all aspects of curriculum planning and textbook writing.
We hope that through such a teacher training seminar, the local Indonesian teachers are able to improve their teaching skills. They can exchange their ideas with the trainers and learn from them so as to benefit their teaching in the future. All in all, they can help to promote Chinese education in Indonesia.
The Union of Alumni Taiwan Indonesia pays attention to new generation development. They continue to provide social welfare services which are beneficial to education. The volunteers present at the service are young people who have received higher education in Taiwan. After graduation, they participate in volunteer work successfully and actively promote Chinese education in Indonesia.
Most of them come from Jakarta, while some come from Palembang, Karimun, and other places. Some of them even come from farther away, like Tangerang.
Those who study Chinese and love Chinese education are not only Chinese people. The woman, who is a Chinese teacher, started learning Chinese because she likes to watch Chinese TV dramas.
Many children think that Chinese is not easy to learn, which is our challenge as a teacher. How to make children for learning Chinese is not difficult. I usually teach them through games and Chinese songs. The main purpose is to motivate the children to learn Chinese.
With over 30 years of teaching experience, 2 senior Taiwanese Chinese teachers who taught in the training course share their teaching experience with everyone.
We have integrated some lively singing and dancing games, board games, and children's drama into the teaching and usage of Chinese language. We also taught them the skills of motivating the children to play these language games, making the children like to learn Chinese. We think that the local teachers are very enthusiastic about Chinese teaching, so we feel very touched during the course.
During the 5 days of training, wonderful demonstrations were presented and the knowledge has been passed down to everyone.
People who take care of the disabled people usually face all sorts of stress and pressure. This is why Taiwan's Mercy Love has continued to praise and recognize the difficult work of taking care of a disabled family member. Let's take a look at a few winners this year. I was panicked. I didn't know how I'd continue on. I was very, very sad in the moment.
Thinking back to 10 years ago, Zhang Shuhui is still very emotional, as that was when both her husband and her second daughter's cerebellar atrophy worsened. Instead of choosing to let it overwhelm her, she picked herself up and joined a help group. Now she goes around to raise awareness of this disease.
Some may not know cerebellar atrophy is genetic, so in order to prevent the spread of this disease, my daughter and I have gone to schools to give talks on health education.
This is 55-year-old Shi Zhiyi and his son, a medal recipient at the Asian Pacific Deaf Games. In the past 30 years, Shi has encouraged his son to be in public and conquer his hearing impairment. Shi himself also volunteers his professional skills as a masseur at medical outreaches in remote regions.
Doing social work, I've come in contact with people from all walks of life. It is also a test in which I can face with an open mind.
Disabled friends come in all shapes and sizes, some who have vision impairments, some have rare diseases. From all, we can learn from their life stories and also provide their valuable information for scientific research, so the government can gain further direction on how to help.
The winners this year also included a sister who has been helping her cerebral palsy brother for the last 26 years. She also shares her care methods with others. The 11 winners this year has transformed their obstacles into strength, and it is hoped they can inspire more families to get through the difficult times.
During the 5 days of Tzu Chi's free medical outreach in Jordan, more than 2,500 people received help. To ensure that the events can go smoothly, some volunteer translators also came to help with the communications between the doctors and patients.
Repeatedly pressing the patient's abdomen and confirming the pain sensation. Through an interpreter, the consultation time needed was generally 2 to 3 times the normal. But Dr. Ye Tianhao feels it was necessary.
Since we came from so far away, we actually need to seize this opportunity, which is not easily obtained, to do these things. They also know we really do it wholeheartedly.
In Jordan, it is not easy for Syrian refugees to seek medical treatment. For some people, this is their first time receiving medical care.
Since they haven't seen dentists before, they are quite nervous and scared. We will comfort them by holding their hands during the treatment, give them comfort and a look, and also one of these thumbs up. They would then feel more at ease.
For the physicians, they also need to adjust to the environment, like preparing some cookies for the patients to avoid low blood glucose levels.
Most people have not eaten breakfast. We are actually afraid that after receiving anesthesia, the patients will have low blood glucose levels. So we have put a table outside to give them cookies before extracting their teeth. This will prevent them from fainting after anesthesia.
There are many refugees with medical needs, and the team wants to save much time in order to serve more people. So the pharmacists changed the way of drug management from packing into boxes to using bags, saving a lot of setting up time.
We put the medicine, including the stock, directly inside this bag. When we leave, we'll put it directly inside the luggage. When we arrive, we just open the luggage to dispense. Or even if there is only a chair, we can prescribe directly.
Tzu Chi's medical outreach team has faced lots of challenges in Jordan. However, with Tzu Chi's people's compassion and wisdom, the free clinic was held successfully.
Members of the Tzu Chi Jordan medical team include doctors from various countries and Tzu Chi volunteers. Besides providing free medical services to local residents, the Deputy Superintendent of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital was also invited by Jordan Princess to discuss how to implement traditional Chinese medicine practices in Jordan. The Deputy Superintendent of Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital, He Zongrong, traveled to Jordan to serve in a free clinic. He was then invited by Jordan Princess Sumaya to exchange traditional Chinese medicine experiences.
First time I ever did it was in London. But then the doctor was Chinese. And then also I did it in New York. I have done it in Spain. I have done it in Austria. And then I also have done it mostly in Japan.
Having understood the benefits of acupuncture treatment, she hopes to promote it in Jordan.
In Jordan, more and more people have cancer, have high blood pressure, have diabetes. And we know that a lot of these illnesses come from stress. We live, as Jordanians, we live a very stressful, high anxiety life. And we don't have an opportunity to go somewhere that helps us with healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit.
This physical and mental rehabilitation center was built 2 years ago with the help of the princess. She met with the medical team from Taiwan to discuss cross-border cooperation.
If there's any chance for us Tzu Chi to provide TCM services here in Jordan, this place will be an ideal one.
At the initial stage, we can come over to help, But for the long run, we hope we can provide medical education here and then inspire local people to practice TCM services.
The medical team has traveled from Taiwan to Jordan not only to provide free medical services for local people, but also to benefit those who are suffering. A sporty man in Singapore wanted to end his life after knowing that he needed to undergo dialysis because he felt he would be a burden to his family. After Tzu Chi volunteers entered his life, he has changed his mindset. Now he remains positive and is also engaged in voluntary work to help other people in need.
Moving swiftly on the basketball court, In Kok-yong plays the sport as skillful as any young person, but in fact, he is a dialysis patient. 2 years ago, when he was told that he needed dialysis, he wanted to end his life.
When the doctor said I needed dialysis 3 days a week, it meant I had to end my work completely. In the second week of dialysis, I couldn't stand it anymore and wanted to die.
While In Kok-yong is feeling helpless, Tzu Chi volunteers came into his life.
Our first impression about him was he was depressed and helpless, so we decided to visit him in person, not just phoning him.
When the volunteers visited me the first time, I thought while there were still people caring about me, their thought about me was very touching.
Invited by Tzu Chi volunteers, In Kok-yong goes to the recycling station in his spare time to lend a helping hand, in rain or shine.
He arrives quite early and stays until very late. He doesn't just spend 30 minutes here, but over 2 hours. He is attentive about doing recycling.
I feel my kidney disease can't subdue me. I can do anything. I'm the most normal of normal person.
In Kok-yong uses his example to encourage people with kidney disease.
I want to continue living. I must continue living, help other people, and pay back to Tzu Chi.
He can accept the encouragement and the care we give to him. I didn't expect our care had so much impact on him.
The volunteers' love allows In Kok-yong to feel alive again. He said that he will pass on the love to other people.
Since 2010, Tzu Chi kindergartens in different parts of Malaysia implements the Passport for Vegetarian Land campaign every year. Although the activity only lasts for a month, some students continue to adopt a meatless diet even when the event concludes. A 12-year-old who graduated from a Tzu Chi kindergarten has been going meat-free since then. His mother says he hardly ever gets sick and is even a strong swimmer. Sympathizing with the animals, Tong Nin has decided to embrace vegetarianism.
I started to adopt a meatless diet since my participation in the Passport for Vegetarian Land campaign. I do so because I won't kill animals.
Our class started to implement the Passport for Vegetarian Land campaign since the age of 5. Through this activity, the children realized that the earth had already fallen ill, and they needed to go vegetarian to save the earth and animals. Since then, Lin has been insisting on going meatless up until his age of 12 now.
Tong Nin's perseverance also works on his swimming performances.
In fact, his perseverance is more important, although he adopts a vegetarian diet. But if he upholds perseverance, he can perform well in swimming.
Tong Nin's initial aspiration to go meat-free is to protect animals, but he has proved to his relatives and friends that adopting a vegetarian diet does not affect him being a strong swimmer. In our next report, we meet Lin Daizhen and Chen Ziyu, the pair of friends who are as close as sisters, have lost the ability to use their lower body due to the Kaohsiung gas explosion. Their outlook on life, however, has not been affected by the incident. They have trained for wheelchair racing and traveled to different countries to participate in the races. Let's learn more about their determination.
想要朝自己的梦想，能做就做。 我从以前其实很喜欢挑战我自己。
After the gas explosion, the two use wheelchairs to get around and are looking at life from a different angle. Since they are in similar situations, they encourage one another and even began training for a marathon together.
You must give everything a try in life. When I first got hurt, everything was difficult to do. Putting clothes on, brushing my teeth, or even washing my face. I couldn't accept it, but I told myself I can do it.
I don't think I should waste my time being sad or feeling sorry for myself.
Continuing to challenge themselves, they train day in and day out, building up their endurance for race day.
The training in the beginning was hard because there is not a lot of information about wheelchair racing in the country. So we had to find our own way as we trained.
Wheelchair racing is separated by sitting position or kneeling position. During the race, I need to overcome the uncomfortableness of the chair because I need to stay in the chair for a certain amount of time. It's really endurance training.
In 2019, they went to Tokyo, Japan to participate in a 42-kilometer race. Though the weather was not ideal and they didn't complete the race, it did not douse their passion for the sport. As every time they trained in the past year or so, there were always 5 executives of the LCY Chemical Corporation there supporting them.
No one wanted these accidents to happen. I've seen many of those injured victims who end up in court suing. But these people, they are really here to help us. We really are like one family.
In the beginning, we didn't know we had these 5 father figures with us. But no matter if it is wheelchair related or training related, they come out in full force to help us.
On this day, they are having employee orientation meeting for their new job.
They are our representatives and they are whom the customers see first and our first impression to our clients.
Maybe people have doubts about whether we can do it, but we can just do it.
Comparing myself with others, if you want to say I'm a light victim, then yes, I'm not the most severe, and I'm luckier than most because at least I have full use of my hands. To promote righteous thoughts during the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi held a blessing ceremony at the Guangdong Tzu Chi. This year, the Fire Bureau also seized the opportunity to promote precautions against fire. That's all the time we have for today. See you next time.